you. Thanks for the introduction. This is like 2 years old of me. I hope I look the same. My slides, please. Slide. Yep. So I'm going to talk about AI in automation, AI and automation in security. I'll keep my introduction a little later because she's already done that bit of it. I'll keep my introduction a little later. But I'd like to start with, I'd like to start with thanking you. No, we can keep the text later on. So I'd like to start with thanking all of you. I'm a little nervous as well because it's the first time I'm doing a session in front of so many academicians. I've done a lot of sessions to people, but first time I'm doing this. And I'm very happy. First time in Shimla, by the way. So that's me. And before I was talking to Paritosh, thanks to Paritosh and team, by the way. Paritosh said, you have to kiss. I was like, what? He said, you have to keep it short and simple, right? That's the kiss out there, right? So now moving ahead, I'd like to start with the topic about is the artificial intelligence. That's a buzzword around everywhere. Zero trust is also a buzzword around everywhere, right? So AI is something I think that nowadays kids in the womb of the mother, they're learning it as how Abhimanyu learned Chakravarti when he was in the womb. AI is something that is being learned by the kids in the womb itself, right? That's what I actually feel. I got a bit, by the way, I feel this is an examination, so I'm reading from the bit. The thing is, next slide, please. Yeah. Okay. Since I've been, as she said, I've worked in Zzscaler for almost 9 years. I've interviewed so many people. There is a huge gap in cybersecurity experts. You could see actually, we currently have 350,000 cybersecurity experts in the country. There is a huge gap. And I strongly believe people over here can actually close the gap by developing more students, right, with the cybersecurity expertise. I've been to 𝐴𝐵 College, I've been to SRM College, I have hired people from there. I see, their knowledge that they carry, I learn from them more than me enabling them, right? That's the thing that I see. They're like half my age, but double my knowledge. That's what I see actually, right? But if we do more cybersecurity knowledge rather than along with the product specific, like Zzscaler, or any other, I can speak everything because I'm not part of Zzscaler now. So, along with the product specific, if there is a cybersecurity specific knowledge is given, that will be really useful. That's one of the key industry challenges that I see. Next one. From the cybersecurity perspective, right, the biggest challenges that the world is seeing is the AI being adopted across. There is a recent article, AI agent. I'm sure agentic AI is also a buzzword around. AI agent has gone rogue. It has created 4,000 Binami entries in the account. It's not something a real account. It's created Binami entries in the database. You can actually go through this Economic Times article. You can look at it. Right? So agents are actually becoming more rogue as well, right? How many of you have seen this robot movie of Rajinikanth? The Chitti 2.0, right? Our iRobots movie which Will Smith did. They go rogue, that Wiki goes rogue, right? That is happening now. And the threats are becoming more sophisticated, right? In the real world, the threats are becoming more sophisticated. Targeted attacks are happening. How are we going to secure the organizations if the expertise is not there? No matter how many tools are there, unless we have a proper people, proper process, the tools will not work. So it's PPT, people, process and technology, right? No matter how many tools are there, we need people and process to be there. So hence, the ask is let's build more cybersecurity experts. Next one. So now coming to my introduction, I have 22 plus years of experience in the industry, 9 years in Zzscaler. Recently, 1 year back, I came out of Zzscaler. I have taken a consulting role in DC Infotech. That's what I'm representing here. I have hired people on the payroll of DC Infotech recently, thanks to Edskill's team for referring them and thanks to Abhi for enabling them. So I'm hiring more freshers as well as experienced people in these 𝐴𝐵 as well. 𝐴𝐵 is actually a UK-based company. I'm doing a sales engineering as a service to them. So I'm a consultant of my own, started my own company, Durvasa Clouds a couple of months back. Durvasa, my father's name, I'm sure everyone would have heard about Durvasa the Sage. right? He's very angry. My father was also very angry. Ex-sergeant from Indian Air Force. He was quite angry then. But yeah, we learned a lot from him actually, right? So that's me. Now, I'll just go back to Abhi's presentation a little bit, right? He spoke about 𝐶𝐶𝐝𝐿, he spoke about all those things. Actually, if you see, the traditional technologies are like Lakshman Rekha around the hut. I'm sure everyone would have gone through Ramayana. Lakshman Rekha was put around the hut. Now, when Sita was inside the Lakshman Rekha, Sita was secure. But today, let's consider Sita as the data. When Sita came out, Sita was kidnapped, right? What if there was a Lakshman Rekha around Sita? Wherever Sita goes, Sita is secure. That is the same thing. Wherever the data is, you need to secure the data. You need to put the boundary around the data. And that is where AI and automation is also playing a role there, right? And that is where technologies like 𝐶𝐶𝐝𝐿 are also playing a role, right? Moving on to the next slide. Yeah. So, what is AI doing in security? For example, again, 𝐶𝐶𝐝𝐿 talks about 500 million transactions, 220 million threads that are being blocked. It reads the content from that. Palo Alto is doing a lot of things from the endpoint side as well as the threat intelligence side. So multiple contents is being taken by each AI engines, right? Of course, they don't speak to each other, but at the customer side, when they look at customer point of view, at the customer side, they have a common tool called SOAR, Security, Orchestration, Automation and Response. The entire data goes in there, right? So AI actually reads the content, it takes the call, gives the information to the SOAR, and the SOAR actually takes the takes the thing. Now, automation makes very important here. Automation is not just in this sense, in the workflows as well, but I believe some of you are actually enabling your students on Postman API. Right? Postman is a very simple API. I've seen Bishan, these guys have been using, they coached me on Postman API by the way. So, whatever we have been doing as a 𝐶𝐶𝐝𝐿, see, I was in 𝐶𝐶𝐿 from 2015 onwards, 10 years, I was there. We were doing all the configurations manually. Whatever we have been doing for 3-4 days, they have shortened it to half a day using Postman API. Of course, 𝐶𝐶𝐿 has opened the API request, API engine. Now with the Postman API, we have done the scripting to reduce that 4 days of efforts to half an hour, half a day, right? That is automation. Today, organizations are looking for that kind of automation. They want to reduce the manpower working on the technology, rather they want the manpower to focus on business. Business is the key thing, that's why they want their money to be spent. Now, when you keep spending time on technology, you are wasting your time. It's a cost center. They want to be a profit center, right? That is why you see a lot of people are getting into AI, agentic AI, right? Now, the next one. The benefits is it's faster. You can really detect the threats very faster from the corporate side of it. He spoke about the bank example, right? We spoke about the bank example. You can really detect the threats faster and you can actually reduce the alerts, right? Human errors keeps happening, but the errors are very limited. I don't have the numbers as such, but I heard the errors are very limited. Again, there are errors in AI also. And when the AI goes slow, again the data is again very bad. Now, there is a challenge about reduced number of human resources. A lot of organizations are reducing human resources by adopting AI. But I would say that let's think of the other side. People with the expertise of AI and automation or all these knowledge, definitely they will be adopted by these organizations, right? I mean, I'm in the mid-age, I'm in the 40s. I've seen organizations laying off people in the 40s who are not ready to learn, right? Some of us are here that has learned AI. I have actually joined a course in IIT Madras. I'm from Chennai. So I joined a course in IIT Madras for AI now. It's 5 months course. We have to upskill ourselves along with the existing kids, right? That's something, that's the key benefits of AI security. Next one. Few use cases, again, threats. Abhi spoke about malware and phishing, all those threats that is being caught by 𝐶𝐶𝐝𝐿, right? How do you make sure you actually get the visibility of those threats? You cannot go and check all the logs manually, right? You need the technology which can actually read those data fabric and it can actually give you the visibility. So that's the help of AI. It could be insider threat also. Threats not only external, even inside an employee, disgruntled employee, someone who is not happy with what is going on in the organization, he can leak the data. Right? He can do something else to bring down the organization. How do you make sure that you actually predict this well in advance? Right? UEBA, all these terms that are being used, actually you need someone to feed in that UEBA, someone to feed in the risk score. That is AI, right? Even at the endpoint side, EDR, XDR, sandboxing on the technology. The airport checkpost example that Abir gave, our bags are scanned. Only when they see something suspicious, they take the bag and open entire thing in the bag. You need, if you have AI there, you do faster scan. We don't have so many queues in the airport. Today we are all worried about the long queues in the airport. In the technology, if you have too many queues, it's actually user experience impact. How do you make sure it is faster, right? So from automation perspective, again, you can have a playbook with the automation, like either an API or something. You can do a playbook and you can automate things using the multiple steps, right? So Python plays a major role. I've seen that today in AWS they call Terraforms. They use this Python scripts to do this automation. So definitely those part of the curriculum will definitely help. And a help that I would like to put in front is, like again, as I said, we need to focus on more technology perspective. The product can be a blue color screen, red color screen, or orange color screen, that doesn't matter. Fundamental is TCP/IP. TCP/IP, UDP, that technology focus is very much required. I have spoken to 150 people in the last 6 months. I have added only 14 people out of 150 people who knew technology, right? People just come up with the knowledge of very basic stuff, but not the technology knowledge. So again, I am emphasizing on enabling people on technology, so skill can also take this as a feedback, and academicians, please take this as a feedback, enable on technology. Please. Next one. So this is the same thing I spoke about. AI usually flags a suspicious login. It can actually lock an account. Automation can help to lock an account, and it can actually report it to the SOC. The SOC engineers can take a call, and you can actually do more. You can actually protect your organization more. That's how you can actually work together. In a conclusion, I'll skip this actually. Yeah, since we don't have time, let's skip this. I want to keep it short and simple. In a conclusion, right? Definitely a continuous evolution is required. We just need to keep adopting also some technology knowledge as well as the usage of technology, so that evolution is definitely required. Attackers are actually being little ahead of what the organizations are. There is a myth saying that even maybe the organizations, cybersecurity organizations are funding attackers so that they can sell the product. It's not that way. There are more enabled. They have a lot of technologies. The dark web, you can see, they have a lot of technologies out there. So definitely human resource is required with the evolved knowledge. That's what I'd like to conclude. And with that, I'd like to thank you for this opportunity. Sai, the next slide. Yeah, I try to put in whatever languages. This is not a copy from Anudini, right? Not a copy, it is like Google Translate. I wish I knew this Anudini well in advance. But thank you so much, I really appreciate all of you. Just an update, this presentation was prepared by AI. ChatGPT, little customers by me.
Well, thank you so much, sir, and congratulations for your 𝐤𝐤𝐢𝐥𝐤 𝐂𝐨𝐧. And now I would like to